The NBA season is around the corner. The Timberwolves have started training camp, and that means we get to see and hear a bunch of their ideas and their plans for the upcoming season. For the Wolves, one of them is clearly going to be playing with better pace and more purpose in their offense, and this quote from Anthony Edwards really piqued my interest.
If Rudy gets the rebound, Mike should be the only one that come back to it. I think we did a bad job of last year, just everybody coming back to the ball, especially myself, because I love to go get the rock. So just running the floor and then just getting, opportunity, especially catch and shoots. Like I've been working on that. Everybody know I'm pretty good at catching and shooting. So me spreading the floor, Mike pushing the ball down, hitting Rudy, and then come setting the pin down, I can play out of the corner. So just stuff like that, different actions, it should help me a lot.
Now, it is true that Minnesota's transition game was hampered by 2 or 3 guys hanging around here, asking for the ball off defensive rebounds, which leads to these slow possessions. Chris Finch said recently that they led the league in backwards passes last season, and even when it wasn't going in reverse, the offense was beginning with multiple guys in stagnant positions. And a lot of that is these possessions where they have multiple guys, usually Conley, Edwards, and Randall, asking for the ball under the basket before they can even get their offensive possession started. Now what they want to do is remove that clutter. Task Mike Conley with the job of taking the ball from the rebounder when he's out there, and they can try and get into their offense faster through that. Now, obviously, they want to use Conley in this way so they can get Edwards and Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels and the rest of their faster players flanking him in transition or against those broken floor defenses, not so Conley himself gets a usage bump as a scorer. Conley isn't going to hurt teams as a transition threat himself, but he is the most likely of Minnesota's main ball handlers to push pace by passing the ball up the floor and getting those scorers into positions where they don't constantly have to go up against a set defense. I think that's something they really want to get more of this season. This is a perfect example of that. When they secure this rebound by Conley coming to the ball here and Edwards leaking out instead of staying stationary, all of a sudden they've broken the defense, with McDaniels doing the same on the other side of the floor. That's the ideal situation they're trying to find more of, and I think just having one player handle and the others run will work, whether it's Conley, Dillingham, DiVincenzo, or anyone really. The other thing that Edwards mentioned in that quote was what happens when they can't get into fast break offense, and that's more of Ant starting possessions off the ball or working out of the corner. Look, Edwards should and will be on the ball a ton next season, but by having Conley or any other point guard handle those defensive rebounds, they can get into some more off-ball Ant possessions. Like Edwards said, that could just be him getting more catch and shoot looks, and that could come as a standstill shooter who allows his teammates to create gravity for him. Ant shot over 42% on catch and shoot threes last season, but he only shot 209 of them in total, so they can afford to try and pump up that volume a little bit more this season. That includes coming off those pin downs that he mentioned as well, rising up off this screen like he said so he can get easier 3-point looks rather than always living and dying by the pull-up 3. Whether it's a 3-ball or curling around it to the rim, I expect to see more of these pin down actions for Edwards next season if they want him up the floor without the ball. I really like this corner action where he's going from here in one corner and running his man off a pin down here on the other side of the floor so he can attack a tilted defense, which he rarely gets to do if he's handling the ball. I also like the idea of Edwards being able to be the one who sets the screen and peels off into space when Conley is doing the ball handling. That's just another way he can kind of utilize Conley as a ball handler to get himself better shots. On the surface, I don't think this team needs more Mike Conley, but if they're going to sprinkle some easier shots into Ant's game, then that's when that's going to make sense. Mostly, if they want Ant off the ball a little bit more, I think we're going to see more actions being deployed for him. See here, it's just adding in some flavour to that pin down action. Instead of Randall coming up here to the ball, he curls into a screen for Edwards, and now Ant is coming up with 2 screeners there, and that creates one of those catch and shoot looks that he's so good at. Again, early in the shot clock, he's running off a flex screen down low, and then up off a pin down into that catch and shoot jumper. I don't think Minnesota should be taking the ball out of the hands of their superstar too often, but these are actions that need to be in their playbook more often next season, and they can get them by having that mentality where Edwards gets up the floor quicker instead of hanging around the opposite rim trying to get the ball from the rebound. The season is back now, and I'll be breaking down more nuggets of info that we get from training camp, as well as preseason games with the usual breakdowns and more as we head into the regular season. So subscribe to the channel, drop a like, or tell me what you want to see this season in the comments, and thanks again for watching.